Good morning, guys. My name is Phil. Welcome back to Miranda Detailing. So in today's episode, we're going to be detailing a clean vehicle. So guys, what does it take to detail an already clean vehicle? Well, we're going to be cleaning this Ram, and I have to say, what else can we do to it? Guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, and I hope you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. So let's take a look at the truck. I'll be back. So here is the Ram, and this customer, we already did one of his vehicles. It was the red Charger, and I'll put that up in the corner if you want to check that out. But as you can see, well, I'll get in closer. This truck is in amazing condition. Of course, we have, well, just a little bug. There we go. Now it's perfect. In reality, even though it is really clean, what else can we do to bring this up another, I don't know, 10% to really make the paint pop and the chrome pop and overall make it look incredible, even more than it already does. If we take a look at the wheels, look at how clean the wheel barrels are. And this customer takes very good care of his vehicles. He loves to clean them, so he's constantly cleaning them, and he'll even take off the wheels and clean them inside and out and protect them, which is amazing. Makes our job easier. But it also makes our job harder in a way, only because we have to bring this up, well, a few more percentages to make it appealing to the customer. But as we look at the wheel wells, oh yeah, they got some junk from the road, so we'll clean those up. We'll definitely clean the tires and wheels anyway, but we don't need to do anything extreme with the tires and the wheels because, well, they really are very clean. As far as the paint goes, it's a beautiful cream pearl, and we can see if we can catch in the sun a little bit. It has the slightest amount of swirls and minor spots, but that could also just be residual from the road. I don't know when he washed this. It could just be a little bit of road grime. I do see some water spotting here. You can see that in the sun, how it's not quite clear. There is room for improvement, even though this truck looks really good. There's definitely some things that we can do to make it look even better. So we're going to begin with our wash process, the pre-wash, and we're also going to decon it. So we're going to use an iron decon, at least on the back here, and then see if there's really any iron to pull, because this is going to be the worst. And then we'll go in the bottom portion here. But if it's not pulling any iron, I will stop using that chemical because I don't need to use it arbitrarily. If some detailers like to spray the entire vehicle down, that's up to them, and that's totally fine. If they feel that it kind of eases their conscience and they want to make sure that every little bit of iron particle is dissolved, then that's up to them. But generally, all of the iron particles will be back there, usually, and if it's not reacting, then I'm not going to use that chemical throughout the entire vehicle. It's a waste of chemical, and I'm not about wasting chemicals. As a business, not going to do that. And really, you shouldn't be either. But if you don't care about money and you have all the money to spend in the world, go ahead and do that. Let's begin. We're going to use hot water today because it is chilly. So we have our hot water extractor, just the opposite. We have our hot water pressure washer. If you are interested in this model is impressive. It's the AR Blue Clean 630 Hot Water Edition. There's two versions. This is the hot water version. It can handle up to 180 degrees, which the water will never even get to that temp because our heater pushes out about 130 degrees. And by the time it gets here, it's lost a few degrees. By the time it escapes the hose, you know, out of the tip, it mixes with air and it cools it down even more. So it's not like you're washing with true hot water. It's more like warm water, but it still helps. It is amazing. So for mobile guys, you can actually fill up your tank with hot water from your tap, if you can handle that, if you have a tankless water heater like we do, and fill it up with hot water as hot as you can get it and use this pressure washer. It is amazing. Now I also just got a DI water system here. So this is the CR Spotless. And it's the larger version that you mount onto the wall here, so I will be rearranging this and mounting it on the wall, so then we will have hot deionized water. But I'm only going to use this for rinsing. I'm going to be testing our water here soon and see how many, total dissolved solids are in it. I have a TDS meter coming, and if it's really not that bad, then I'll only use this for rinsing because I really don't have problems with water spots anyway. But it's always good to use a DI water system if your water is really hard, or just use it for rinsing, which is what we're going to use that system for. So you'll see that in another video. We'll install that and show you how it works. All ready?
All set.
Oh, it's a chilly morning. So let's take a look at some of the chemicals we're going to use today. For the APC rinse, we're going to use the Shine Your Showcar Cleansol. This is a interior and exterior all-purpose cleaner, kind of like Super Clean or Extra Tough. So I diluted this actually more like 1 to 5 in our IK foamer. So we're going to use that for the pre-wash or the APC rinse. I'm going to use the Turtle Wax Max Power Car Wash. Here's what we're going to do with this shampoo. This can be a very strong cleaner depending on how you dilute it. But here's how we dilute it. This stuff is so affordable, I'm not worried about using too much of it. Here's what we do. And remember, it is chilly out, so I'm using all hot water for everything. And you may be wondering, why did I only have one glove on? Because I just forgot to put the other one on, that's all. I got busy doing other things, and that's what happens. I'm just gonna pour this in and pretty much have it undiluted in here. It's going to dilute it more when it comes out of the foam cannon anyway. So don't really worry about that. It's such an affordable cleaner, I don't really worry about it. It works extremely well. You don't have to worry about this drying out rubbers and plastics and things like that. You don't use this every time anyway. This is for deep cleaning only. You don't use it for maintenance. If you're going to use it for maintenance, then you dilute it a lot because, you know, then it can be a moderate cleaner. This does have a higher pH than usual, so you use it for heavy cleaning. So we have the IK foamer. It's all mixed. I just have to pump it up. Now you can either hand pump this or you can use the air compressor. I choose to use the air compressor because it's easier and faster. This can take actually up to 40 pounds. So what you do is you basically fill it up until the little meter here pops up and it'll release air. So you're not going to burst anything. This will release the air for you. All right, so you can see there, it just started to pop up just a little bit. Perfect. So yeah, you might be asking, why even do this vehicle? What are we doing to it? Well, the customer booked it in for paint enhancement. Yeah. So what we're going to do is really strip all of this protection off because we're going to polish it. Now, I'm not going to worry about stripping the protection with the cleaners. The APC rinsing will help, the shampoo will help, but let's see at the end if it really does strip it or not. And if it doesn't, then I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to polish it, and that's going to remove everything. But yeah, it's beating like a ceramic coating. So I know this customer likes Ethos, so I think it could be the Ethos Ceramic Wax Pro on here, because that is what we're going to apply at the end. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? We're detailing an already clean vehicle, but like we mentioned, we're going to bring it up a couple of notches. Even the wheel well is cleaned up pretty easily just with water. Let's go ahead and APC rinse. Nice thick foam. And we'll let that dwell on here a little bit longer than usual because we're not really in full sun and nothing's really going to dry here. You see it produces a nice clinging foam that's going to break down some of the waxes and sealants and dirt and grime that may be on there, even though this vehicle is pretty clean. Yeah. So let's start with the deconning. We're going to use the last coat iron off. So let's spray it and we'll wait a few minutes because when it is chilly, it takes a little longer to react, we found. And that's with pretty much any iron remover. But this one especially because it's a little bit more thick, a little bit more viscous, so it takes a little bit longer to react. So we'll let that sit on there and dwell. And as far as the deconning here, the iron deconning goes, you know, the chemical itself is a pH neutral chemical, but when it reacts, when it turns purple, that purple that you see is actually an acidic reaction. But don't worry about it. Don't think that it's going to ruin anything. Just to, you know, let you be aware that that's what's going on with the chemical. So it is safe for wheels and paint, of course, anything clear coated, and you can use it on aluminum, bare aluminum and matte wheels and things like that. But just, you know, be careful, don't let it dry, keep an eye on it, and you should be fine. So after a few minutes, we can see the tiniest amount of iron particles dissolving. Very, very small amount. Barely anything, just little spots here and there. But overall, really not bad. As you can see, the owner takes really good care of it. Keeps it deconned all the time, keeps it protected. The APC rinsing didn't even put a dent in the protection at all. So you may think to yourself, you know, you can use that for APCing on maintenance details. Just be careful because it can. This protection seems to be very strong, but not all waxes and sealants are created equal. So, you know, just be cautious with that. Test it out. If it kills the protection, then don't do it again. But yeah, that's about it as far as iron particles go. Really not too much at all. So we've given this sufficient time to dissolve. There's another one right up there. There's another one right up there. So that's pretty much it for the iron deconning. I'm not going to worry about doing the rest of the vehicle because there's really not much to pull. It'll just be a big waste of time and a waste of chemical. So if you like to do it because it eases your conscience, then go right ahead, but we are not, because there is no need to do it. It would simply just be a for show type of thing if one wants to do that at that point. But here, running a business, and if you are running a business, it would be foolish just to use any decon chemicals arbitrarily. So I'm not going to do it. So let's rinse this off and let's continue with the washing process. And that really should also be pretty easy. And any bits that may be on the paint, we'll clay bar off. I'm not going to use the clay mitt on this because it may leave a little bit more marring than I want. I want to make this job as simple and easy as possible because it's really not that bad. I'm not going to induce more marring into the paint than is needed. You see me do that on black vehicles, on dark vehicles, but usually it's because it needs it. It's been neglected for so long, but this has not been neglected. It is well cared for. So I'm not going to heavily use the clay mitt. I'm just going to use the clay bar in some portions, and that's it. If it feels smooth, I'm moving on. You can see the foam is really, really nice and thick. It has really nice lubrication and cleaning action. Yeah, it needs a little bit of clay barring. It's got a little bit of grit on it, but not bad. Seems to be just on the top surfaces. Top surfaces, oh yeah, the sides are very smooth. GoPro, turn off. Yes, it is. You can hear it. It definitely needs some deconning up here. Seems like the top surfaces are the worst. And I'm using the Torque clay lube, which is really, really nice stuff, and their little clay brick. Our towels meet. So here's what we found. The truck is now pulled in. It is towel dried, blown dry, and now we are inspecting the paint and the glass a little bit further, and here's what we found. It has some minor water spotting. So Jess is taking care of the water spots on the glass. You can see how bad they are there, and much better. So yeah. So we're going to be removing the water spots. We're using the 3D eraser gel on the glass because generally removing water spots on glass is a lot harder for some reason. But on the paint, it's different. The paint is softer than glass, it's more porous, and I don't know why it makes that much of a difference, but it does. So if we look at the paint, I just did this section here where I'm using the G-Technic W9 here because it's actually working really, really well. The spots are minor enough that it's removing them, and now the paint feels nice and smooth. But you can see, let's grab our light. So you can see here a little bit of water spotting. It's really difficult to pick up because of the pearl white. But let's see if we can focus in on, well, you can see the difference. You can see the clarity here, right? And we go over here and you see that it's a little hazy, a little muddled. That's the water spots that are kind of hindering that gloss and that depth. So now over here, it's removed. Not much as far as swirls go though. Barely anything. Might be little tiny hairline swirls here and there. But it's really the water spots that are of major concern right now. So we're going to go, you know, a few extra points of a percentage up and remove those water spots, increase the gloss and the depth, and really make the paint pop. So it looks good now, right? Well, it's going to look even better. It might be difficult to tell on camera because, you know, of the light differences and everything, but here to the naked eye, we can see that the water spots on the paint really do hinder the depth and gloss, and over here it looks much better. And I know it's just hard to tell on camera, and that's why we need the lights here. I just changed the color temperature on the light here. This is the Max Shine, one of their new lights, and it has the warm tone like the sun, and it has a medium, then it has a high, and it's just different color temperatures. It's probably around 5,000 or 6,000 Kelvin, but you can kind of see the little haze there now a little better, and then it becomes clear, so you can definitely see that. So here's how we remove the water spots. These are just minor water spots, not heavy. If they're heavy, I'd be using that gel. Now, I still kind of consider this a chemical deconning because you are using a chemical and you are removing those mineral spots which are contaminating the paint. So it is technically a chemical decon. Even after the clay bar or the clay brick doesn't remove the water spots. Maybe if they're fresh, it will, but if they are older, it just won't. So here's our method. W9 is a pretty light water spot remover. I don't consider this a heavy-duty water spot remover. It's meant actually to remove water spots from ceramic coatings, from the G-Technic line of coatings. But it's great in this instance. So I'm going to spray it onto my applicator pad. You can spray it onto the paint also, but just work quickly and apply it like you're applying a ceramic coating. In crosshatch patterns, don't let it dry, so just keep the area wet and keep working it into the paint as much as you can. And sometimes you'll see the water spots actually dissolve away, but other times you won't. You'll just kind of see the water spots through the remover. But then when you hit it with a wet towel, which kind of neutralizes or deactivates the cleaner, I guess you can kind of say it that way, but basically it's removing the residue with the damp towel and then the dry towel, and you'll see that those spots start to go away, and it might leave a little bit of a residue, so you can use a quick detailer if you want, but this does a good job. This actually leaves a lot less residue than the heavier duty water spot removers. So now let's take a closer look. All right, now that's cleared up. Now you can just see a little bit of the swirls left, but the water spots have really cleared up. So if we compare it, oh, there's a little, where'd it go? There's a little smudge line I just saw. Oh, it was probably just from the towel. That's what it was. So over here is where we use the water spot remover also. Nice and clear, and still nice and clear. Good. So just a little bit of swirling, and that will come out with a light polish. So you can really see when you examine the paint, even though the paint looks nice outside, when you bring it in under lights like this, and with handheld lights, and examine it, kind of like a surgeon, then those defects start to come out and you start to see them more. Is that nitpicking? Kind of depends. The customer does want this polished, so the water spots and the light swirling will be removed. And it will increase the gloss and the depth and really make this paint pop even more so. It might be hard to really tell with that, just a few percentage points, maybe 10% better than it was, but that's what the vehicle is in for. That's what the customer wants. So that's what we're going to do. So the polishing is actually making a little improvement. It's hard to tell with pearl white.
Let's see over here.
Oh, nice. So what we're using are trusty Lake Country orange pads. These are just a must-have for us. and we're using the new Phoenix EOD Fab-ulous polish. So that is a fine cut polish, and it's enough to pull out some of the light swirls and the rest of the water spots on this paint and really bring it up a notch or 2 or 3 or 10. It really makes it look incredible. So, oh wow, look at that. Look how crisp and clear it looks now. Oh yeah. And if we look at it with this light, man, it's looking so good, so nice and crisp. Beautiful. Now that's what we're talking about. So when you see a relatively clean vehicle like this, out in the sun, it looked okay. From a distance, it looks okay. But here's how we can really bring it up a couple of notches, remove those water spots, reduce the swirling, almost completely removing it. It's a little hard to tell on white pearl paint, but you can really see with the lights the improvement on white pearl paint like this. It's just incredible. So yeah, that's why the customer wants to bring it to us, because we can bring it up a couple of notches and really improve the vehicle even more so, even more than it already is. So we're going to continue polishing. It's looking incredible. This should actually go pretty quickly now that we've dialed in a process. We can polish all around. We don't have to really grind on the paint that much at all. The pad and the polish really do all the work for you, and man, it just looks so incredible. This Ram is looking incredible. Well, when it comes to chrome, make sure to grab a light and get that chrome as clean as possible. Chrome grills like this take some time, so grab a towel, grab your polish. We're just using the Fab-ulous polish and a little bit of quick detailer to get that chrome popping and making it look incredible. Same goes with the wheels. The wheels are going to be easier. They're not as intricate, but make sure to hit those chrome wheels or whatever wheels are on the vehicle, and any other emblems and chrome bits and pieces there, you want to make sure that they are nice and clean and looking really, really crisp. All the black plastic has been treated, so that looks nice, and it already looked good, but this just kind of brings it to another level, making sure that it is looking good and protected. Glass is looking amazing. So we are well on our way to completing this already. It looks incredible. The pearl white paint is just beautiful. So we're going to protect it with Ethos Pro Ceramic Wax. This is what the customer loves. So this is what he requested. We're going to put this on, and then just a light layer of the Defy as well. I don't have Resist yet. I'll be getting that later, but I like this combo. It works exceptionally well. So that's what we're going to apply for protection. So the Pro Ceramic wax has been sitting for a while now, and let's remove it. This stuff is extremely easy to remove.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's awesome. Awesome stuff. The gloss is incredible, and I have to say the protection is impressive as well. I believe that's what he had on here previously, but of course we polished it all off and we're now reapplying it. But we had to, because it had water spots, it had light swirls, and to be able to do that, you had to remove whatever previously applied protection. Now, oh man, that's looking incredible.
That's nice.
That's nice. Oh, it's so glossy. So wheels and tires are now done. They're protected. And I just finished polishing the glass. I'm going to apply glass protection for the windshield. We have now improved the quality of the paint. So we brought it up a couple of notches from where it was. And that's how you can improve an already clean vehicle. There's always something you can do. Even if this paint was in near perfect condition, we would have still just done a quick polish just to amp up the gloss and then apply protection, make sure the chrome was good, make sure the glass was good. There's always something on a vehicle that needs to be done. And this was a good subject to show you guys. I doubt they'll get the Adam Sandler reference. Let me know what we were imitating down below. All right, guys, the Ram is done. It's looking beautiful, it's protected, and I have to say, even though it started out as a pretty clean vehicle at first glance, we've definitely bumped it up a couple of notches. So even if you have a vehicle like this, you can always find something to improve on and really make the vehicle pop. If you guys are interested in any of the tools, the products, check out the links down below. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Have you ever detailed really clean cars that you ask yourself, what did I even need to do to this thing? Let me know down below some of your stories. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great week.